All right, so we got the first question. A man standing on the ground is 1,000 feet away from the 350-foot tall tower. We got a picture over here for you guys. Find the nearest degree, the measure of the angle. So remember, since we're looking for an angle, this is a SOHCAHTOA question. So this is going to be opposite. That was crazy. Adjacent. And then you guys remember we got SO, Ka, and then TOA. Okay, so we're going to choose the TOA here. So remember the formula, tangent of the angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. And then we're going to go ahead and plug in. So the tangent of x is equal to 350 over 1,000. And then we're going to go ahead and take the tangent inverse of both sides. Since we're looking for the angle, we have to use the inverse. And then we're going to take our calculator, go ahead and type in the 350 over 1,000, tangent inverse of it, trig, tangent inverse, and we're going to get 19.29. It does say nearest degree, so that's 19 degrees. All right, on to the second one. Same situation. Person measures the angle of depression at the top of the wall to put on the ground. So the angle is measured at 52 degrees. It's the angle of depression, but remember, we're always going to put it in that bottom corner. So depression is actually up here. So the angle of depression is actually located, 52 degrees is located right there. Okay, that's our angle of depression. Yeah, that's a 52, by the way. All right, so the angle of depression is up here, but we're going to write it in that bottom corner. We're trying to find how far is the person from the point of the ground. We're going to say the person's at the top of the tower. So we're looking for this side. All right, so if we're labeling our sides, we have opposite and hypotenuse. And so this is going to be so we're going to do sine of our angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. And then we're going to plug in. So the sine of 52 is equal to 62 over x. We'll cross multiply. X times the sine of 52 is equal to 62. And then we still got to divide by the sine of 52. And then x is going to equal that 62 divided by the sine of 52. And we're going to get 78.679. It says nearest tenth, so it's 78.7. All right, and that's the distance, and that's feet. Okay, and we're good to go. Scott on the next question is walking 30 meters from the base of a tree. Now his eye level is 1.5 meters above the ground here. Okay, so when he's looking, and then he's going to go ahead and look up, forming that angle of elevation. So that's 36 degrees. Okay, we're eventually going to be able to figure out how high the bird is from his height, but then we have to make sure we add on that missing distance from his eyes to the ground here. Same stuff though. We're looking for x here. So this is the opposite side. There's our adjacent. So we're going to use TOA, O over A. So formula time, tangent of our angle, which is 36 degrees, is equal to the opposite side, which is x, over the adjacent side, which is 30. We're going to cross multiply. 30 times the tangent of 36 is equal to x. And then we'll go ahead and multiply that out. And get 21 point. We're going 10th here, so we'll get 21.8. And essentially what we're going to want to do is take that expression and add 1.5. So if I add 1.5 to that, plus 1.5, and then we'll round it, it would be 0.8. We're going to round it up to 0.3. So it's 23.3. Now, if you had written that x is equal to, I think we said that was 22.8, and then you're just going to add the 1.5 on. You can also do it that way as well. So 21.8. My bad. All right, and then we end up with that 23.3 at the end there. So you just have to be careful if they're giving you the like from the, is it all the way from the ground or is it from a point above the ground? Samuel is at the top of a tower, right on the zip line to a lower tower. The total vertical drop of the zip line is 40 feet. The zip line's angle of elevation from the lower tower is 11.5 degrees. We want to know how long the zip line is. So the vertical drop of the zip line is 40 feet. So two things we're going to do. We have to figure out how far the zip line is running from here to here, okay? And then once we know that, we can figure out the length here. So we have the information to figure out that. So what we're looking for essentially right now is if we treat this as 40 feet, that's the vertical drop. That's all the way down to the ground. So we have a tough time with the 11.5 degrees from the lower tower. So what's going on there? And we have to do a few things here. So let me check the calculator quick. All right, so the problem we have right now is if we treat this as 40, we're running into a problem because we don't have enough information to do the question. So what we need to do is say that the vertical height of the zip line, meaning the height from here where it ends, this is 40. So we're not treating the entire height of the pole here. Just from the zip line goes from here and stops there, that's 40. So now we can figure out the zip line using just this right triangle right here. So we have the opposite side, the 40, and the hypotenuse is x. So we're going to choose some so. We're going to do sine. Remember, sine of the angle, which is 11.5 degrees, is equal to the opposite, which is 40, over the hypotenuse. We're going to cross multiply. X times the sine of 11.5 is equal to 40. And we'll divide by the sine of 11.5, and we'll have our answer. So trig sine 11.5. We want to do 40 divided by that though, so we're going to go in front. 40 divided by, we get 200, and we're going nearest hundredth, 200.63. And that's in feet. All right. On the next page, we're just doing some sine and cosine complementary angles. Just remember the cosine of P is equal to the sine of Q. So we know that this is going to equal 6 over the square root of 157. We also have the sine of P, and that's equal to cosine of Q. So 11 by the square root of 157. And tangent is the just a reciprocal. Now, if you got stuck, what you could do as well is draw a picture. So we know we have angles P and Q, and if the sine of P is opposite, that's 11 over the square root of 157, that's hypotenuse, and the other side is 6, then you can just do SOHCAHTOA using Q. So that's another option for you. All right. Find the value that makes each statement true. So remember the big thing we talked about here is that if the sine of A is equal to the cosine of B, then that means that angle A plus angle B is equal to 90. So A and B are what you're taking the cosine of, which here is this. So if cosine of 12 is equal to sine of theta, we know that 12 plus theta is equal to 90. So theta is going to equal 78 by subtracting 12 from both sides. Okay, same thing here. Those are angle measures. So 2x plus x is equal to 90. This is 3x. And then x is going to equal 30 after you divide by 3. All right, same token here. Those are angle measures. So x plus 38 is going to equal 90. We're going to do two moves here. We're going to subtract a 38 and we're going to combine the x's. So 2x is going to equal 52 and then divide by 2 and we should get 26 is equal to x. And then the same token, if we're taking the measures of sine is equal to cosine, then our angles, theta plus 3 theta plus 10 is equal to 90. So we combine these to get 4 theta plus 10 is equal to 90. Move that 10 over. 4 theta is going to equal 80. And then theta is going to equal 20. We divide by 4. All right. Two more here. Occupational Safety Hazard Health Administration standards for workplace stuff. We have a ladder leaning against a wall. Ladder is 25 feet long. They want to know what the distance from the base of the ladder to the wall is. That's this right here. Okay. And then how high up the wall does the ladder make contact? So we're going to find y first. So from our angle, here's our adjacent side, our hypotenuse, and then this is our opposite. So we're going to pick cosine to start with. So cosine of the angle is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Cross multiply. We're going to get y is equal to the cosine of 75 times 25. So we'll put the 25 first though. Cosine, broke it, get out of there, of 75. We're going to get 6.47, nearest tenth, it's going to be 6.5. All right, and then how high up the wall does the ladder make contact is the next question. And so if we know that this is 6.5 here and we have 25, we can also use Pythagorean theorem here. So we're going to do c squared minus a squared is equal to b squared. C squared is 25. You can also just use the a squared plus b squared formula. That's up to you. Minus 6.5 squared is equal to b squared. And then we're going to go ahead and do 25 squared minus 6.5 squared is 582.75. And then we're going to go ahead and take the square root of both sides. The square root of the answer comes out to be 24. There's 10th. 24.1. All right. And our last question here. Standing in a lighthouse, the deck at the top of the lighthouse, person spots a ship at an angle of 120 degrees. The lighthouse is 28 meters tall, so from here to here is 28 meters. The cliff is measured 45 meters above sea level. Combined together, if we add these together to get the actual height from the water all the way up to the top of the lighthouse, is going to be 73 meters. And so we want to know what is the horizontal distance between the lighthouse and the ship. So we're going to assume the ship here is right where the cliff sits. So we don't know the distance from here to here. So we're going from the cliff to the ship. We're going to call that x. I mean, even if we just dropped and went all the way over here to this part, right, it wouldn't matter. 73 is this leg right here, and then x is that leg. So we're going to use our angle of 20. 73 is opposite. X is adjacent. So in our SOHCAHTOA, we're going to choose tangent. So the tangent of the angle, which is 20, is equal to the opposite side over the adjacent side. Cross multiply. X times the tangent of 20 is going to equal 73. And then we'll just divide out by the tangent of 20. And we'll have x. So 73 divided by tangent of 20. I know I didn't do the 7 there. 73 is 200. And we're going to the nearest whole meter, so 200.5 is 201 meters. And there is our answer, and there's your worksheet, guys. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Do a little review tomorrow. We're going to do a little partner quiz on Tuesday, keep it short. And then we'll finish out the rest of the week and the week after that, and then Regents Week, guys. So enjoy the rest of Sunday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.